Now at 7 o'clock, President Trump's massive spending bill moves closer to the finish line. We're going to hear from some local people who were concerned about the impacts this bill could have on Medicaid cuts.
Plus, ODOT is letting go of hundreds of employees at the end of this month. We have messages from ODOT director and union leaders coming up. And later,
we go into an emergency situation or a place where we get medical care. We don't have to explain anything about IDD or DD or autism.
How a new Oregon law is tearing down barriers to mental health care and what it means for people with intellectual disabilities. Your 7 o'clock hour of Sunrise, streaming live on KGW Plus, starts right now.
good Thursday morning. Thanks for joining us. I'm Stephanie Domrat. China has the day off.
And I'm Drew Carney. It is 4th of July Eve. Chris McGinnis and Rod Hill both standing by. Rod, is it too early to talk about that 4th? I know it's only Thursday. I know it's the eve. But I want to know, is it going to be nice on the 4th of July?
Well, we've had it nice on the 4th of July, I think for, well, at least every day it's been on the 7-day, and that's still the case. Forecasting 75 tomorrow. Just beautiful, wonderful weather continuing. Here's a mixed bag of more clouds than sun, but some sun has been coming through. Looking at our state capital this morning, 58 degrees. As you move north of Salem, you basically find increasing sun. Look at Portland, basically just clear over much of the city. To start your day. Temperatures have been comfortable, 55 degrees. We're now starting to go up in the 7 o'clock hour. And here's the day moving forward, 67 at noon and 77 at 5 o'clock, which would equal yesterday's high. Chris, forecast is looking good.
Rod, thanks for that. All right, let's get you out the door. And the freeway volume on a day before a summer holiday, as you can expect, is on the light side. We're moving along okay, but we've got one or two slow spots. There's I-5 from Clark County. At SR 14, you can see we're a little slow at the Interstate Bridge. We'll switch gears, take you down to Wilsonville. I-5 northbound traffic coming from the top left to the bottom right of your screen. That looks good. And door number 3, let's try that again. Door number 3 takes us, I believe, over to the east side through Westland or Oregon City, I should say. I-205 traffic in pretty good shape. So far, the only slow spot, it's not even that slow. 9 minutes gets you in from Main Street down to the Fremont Bridge. Drew, Stephanie.
All right, thank you, Chris. Let's talk about the fire we've now been covering, Chris, for the past couple of hours. It started just after 4 o'clock this morning on Skyline Boulevard, just north of Cornelius Pass Road. So crews are in the mop-up stages now, but when firefighters first arrived, this home was fully engulfed in flames, and we still haven't heard if there was anyone inside or not. It also sparked a brush fire next to the home.
Luckily, it's earlier in the season and it isn't that dry out, but obviously these fires, when it throws that many embers, can create a brush fire pretty quickly, and that does become a big concern, especially in this rural area with elevated topography.
Again, Northwest Skyline Boulevard in this section of town is closed still while firefighters continue to work on that fire.
Let's give you a live look now back in Washington, D.C. this morning. This is the House floor as the House Minority Leader, Hakeem Jeffries, continues speaking against President Trump's massive spending bill. It has been now over 4 hours that he has been speaking. That's around the halfway mark to the longest House floor speech, a record held by former Republican leader Kevin McCarthy. Overnight, the bill did clear a key hurdle in the House after a group of Republican holdouts changed their vote. House Speaker Mike Johnson says he expects the House to take vote on this later this morning. NBC's Alice Barr now brings us the latest on all of this from Washington, D.C.
Passed the one big, beautiful bill.
Republicans grinding push to pass President Trump's massive tax and spending bill hitting a hitch in the House, where GOP holdouts held up a procedural vote for hours overnight before finally voting to move ahead. House Speaker Mike Johnson fielding calls from President Trump all night.
And said, who else needs to have a discussion? I'm ready to get on the phone.
The president posting after midnight, what are the Republicans waiting for? What are you trying to prove? MAGA is not happy and it's costing you votes. Earlier in the day, he met with holdout Republicans at the White House looking to ease concerns over the bill's spending, adding substantially to the deficit.
I think we got some good information from the president.
Speaker Johnson saying he wants to avoid ping-ponging the bill with the Senate so the House can't make any changes, even though conservatives don't like Senate adjustments to clean energy credits and the Medicaid overhaul. While moderate Brian Fitzpatrick was ultimately the only Republican voting no on the procedural step, along with all Democrats, who slammed federal aid cuts projected to cost more than 11 million Americans their health insurance.
The largest cut to health care in our history, the largest transfer of wealth from working families to the billionaire class.
The extraordinary things in this bill are so important for the American people.
GOP leaders adamant the bill's key components extending the Trump tax cuts while funding defense and deportations. And the president, who wants it all done, will prove too popular for Republicans to turn down. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
We've heard from a lot of locals about the president's spending bill, so we're going to bring Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz into the mix.
Yeah,
here.
he's covering that angle of the story for us from downtown Portland. Thomas, what are people saying about this?
Well, Drew and Stephanie, a lot of people in the Portland metro area are expressing some angst around this bill. There was even a rally out in Beaverton yesterday pushing back against this spending bill. Here's what some people had to say.
Don't take your rights and privileges for granted. They are a privilege, and freedom isn't free, and we have to fight for it.
I'm a social worker. I work with people with developmental disabilities, and their home and community-based services are at risk because of all the Medicaid cuts.
So how exactly does this bill break down? Well, the nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office says nearly 12 million Americans could lose their insurance by 2034 if it passes. In Oregon, Democratic leaders worry 200,000 people could become uninsured. And the state could see a decrease of $23 billion in federal Medicaid spending over the next 10 years. And that's all statistics that have worried Democratic Oregon lawmakers about long-term repercussions.
There's no way to cut this much Medicaid without kicking working people off their insurance.
I'm not going to pretend that our state budget resources can backfill any of this.
Though congressional Republicans say the bill is actually going to strengthen Medicaid while eliminating fraud and waste and have cut taxes, that is, for all Americans.
Make sure people's taxes don't go up tomorrow, the next day, forever.
Now, once again, House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries has been speaking on the House floor now for more than 5 hours this morning. At the end of the day, though, the Republicans seem confident that they have the votes to pass this bill.
Depends on how long the Democrat leader's magic minute goes, but I suspect it won't drag on long. We'll be voting, I think, by early morning.
So, again, Jeffries is on the floor. The Republicans continue to wait. We'll bring you all the updates as this morning continues to evolve and see what happens with this bill. Drew, Stephanie?
Thomas Schultz reporting for us. Thank you so much. Well, new details this morning about the hundreds of layoffs at ODOT after state lawmakers failed to pass a transportation bill. Without a funding change, ODOT faces a more than $300 million shortfall and says it cannot continue core operations and maintenance at current levels. Hundreds of employees are expected to be laid off this month. In an email sent to staff last weekend, the agency's director wrote, quote, "This is the hardest message I've ever had to send in my career. I know this is shocking, scary, and frustrating for every single one of you. It is for me, too." He went on to say this reduction is short-sighted and fails to account for the cost of inaction. It's sure to cost the state more in the long run as our assets deteriorate, end quote. Meantime, the union that represents some ODOT workers says its members may be able to find other jobs.
If your position is slated to be eliminated, but another position that you also could do in the same region is not slated to be eliminated, you could have that position.
For example, on my crew, we could have someone in a shop next to us, say they close that crew down. Those people with a lot of seniority could choose to come to my shop and bump people that they have more seniority, more tenure than.
ODOT estimates 600 to 700 workers will be let go by the end of this month.
All right, this morning we're covering 3 new wildfires burning in central and eastern Oregon. They all started here in the past 24 hours.
They're burning in Umatilla, Gillum, and Wasco counties. The largest one is the Cold Springs fire burning in Umatilla County, not far from Hermiston.
Yeah, that one started around 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon. The Umatilla County Sheriff's Office said yesterday it had already burned an estimated 1,000 acres, and it's also reportedly burned at least one home. The good news this morning is that as of 10 o'clock last night, all level 3 go now evacuation orders had been lowered to either level 1 or level 2. The state fire marshal called in extra crews for this, including Portland area firefighters from Washington and Clackamas counties. There is also a Red Cross shelter set up at the Eastern Oregon Trade and Event Center in Hermiston.
To the west in Gillum County, a wildfire there burning north of I-84 near Arlington shut down the freeway for several hours yesterday. The highway has since reopened and evacuation orders have also been canceled.
Level 1 and Level 2 evacuation orders remain in place in Wasco County. That's because of this Winslow Road fire. Those orders cover a wide area south of Dufur near the ghost town of Friend. Firefighters say they did stop the fire's forward progress, but it's not clear how many acres have already burned, and the cause of this fire remains under investigation. With that, we take a live look outside now from our Dalles Skycam. Definitely a pretty day out there, and conditions should help firefighters throughout the weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. Nothing but blue skies out there this morning. Definitely good news. Those conditions always playing a role, Rod, right, when it comes to fighting fires.
Yeah, you know, temperatures, remember Monday, Tuesday, we had heat advisories for Wasco County, eastward through Umatilla County. All of that hot weather's gone. Temperatures will be 80s to 90 at most in that region. And outside of Hood River to the Dalles, where northwest winds this afternoon could bounce to about 25, which is typical, as you know. Other areas are generally just to 15, including you folks out in Hermiston. So the weather forecast today and tomorrow are very favorable for the crews that are working those blazes across our state. Here's the visible satellite picture, 7 o'clock hour. It's now light enough that we can use this tool. Remember our Salem sky camera has been one of the cloudier sky cams we've been showing you. Salem's right on the edge of solid clouds to the south. And then you got some cloudiness up toward the flanks of the Cascades. You got some clouds in the Coast Range, but pretty clear from Newport to Tillamook, partly cloudy in Astoria, all clear from Portland up into Kelso. So kind of a varied look, but it's interesting to get eyes on the visible satellite picture for the first time this morning. Here's Snookwoods Casino Resort. Again, you get south of Lincoln County. There are some clouds along the beach, but here it's just beautiful. Those clouds to the south, by the way, as you look at the temperature of 52, from a week low that's parked down over the southwestern corner of our state. Here on the north side of Oregon, we're just looking gorgeous. I think we're going to be mainly sunny throughout the day. 55, that's of course our live camera looking at downtown Portland. Other temperatures with mostly sunny skies here in the North Valley. 54 out in Sandy this morning. 51 in Battleground. There have been some relatively cooler spots. There's 58 degrees in Salem. And here's our 7-day forecast. 77 today, really comfortable, mostly sunny day. Similar day for the July 4th, 75. Still comfortable Saturday and Sunday, no warmer than 83 or 84. So really, really pleasant out there. Back to you.
Rod, thanks for that. Of course, with the talk of some of the new fire starts yesterday east of the Cascades, a reminder from that terrible fire near Rowena Crest, or Rowena, I should say. We had dozens of homes burned and destroyed. The Highway 30, is still closed. These are some pictures that we got earlier this week from ODOT. You can see some of the sign damage. There's some guardrail damage as well. So Highway 30, about a 3-mile stretch of that, is closed, and there's no estimate to get that stuff fixed. This is a shot from that iconic Rowena overlook in east of that area where this road gets really curvy is closed. So if you want to access that this holiday weekend, you're going to need to do it from the west side. All right, the freeway drive right now, top deck of the Fremont Bridge, zipping right along. Door number 4 takes us out to Tannisbourne. That's in pretty good shape as well. The little bit of slowing that we had in Clark County has diminished, guys. No major freeway trouble out there just yet.
Sounds good, Chris. Thank you. Coming up on Sunrise, how a new law will make mental health care more accessible for Oregonians with intellectual and developmental disabilities. But first, the 4th of July, of course, is tomorrow. And while many of us look forward to those fireworks, our pets may not like them as much. How you can help them enjoy the holiday, too, after the break.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
Well, 4th of July Eve means we're getting ready for lots of fireworks tomorrow night.
Yes, and the annual reminder from the Oregon Humane Society about protecting your pets. Many of them get so scared they run through screen doors, windows, or run away because of the sounds. Experts say the key to make them feel better is distraction. You can try spending time with your pet by taking them on a walk or going to the dog park to tire them out before those fireworks begin and the booms start. So try creating some other noises once the fireworks start going off to distract them.
As much as you can do to block out the noise, so fan, TV, close the windows, air conditioner on, anything that you can do to drown out the noise. And then there's a variety of different tools for enrichment, so again, just to kind of distract them. So puzzle toys, Kongs, treat mats.
And if you haven't already, make sure your pet has visible ID and is microchipped, just in case they do run out because of that noise.
Rod, you told us earlier, Maximus, your golden retriever, not a fan at all. No. Stephanie mentioned that her pug, Doug, is deaf. So not really an issue for Doug.
Yes, ignorant bliss, I guess.
Blaze, our dog Blaze, does not seem to mind the fireworks at all. Nice. In fact, a couple of years ago, I had him down on the beach in Pacific City, which is like Fort Knox on the 4th of July. They set off so many fireworks on that beach. And Blaze was hanging there just sitting on my lap. Just like,
wow, that's great.
I guess it's great.
Well,
maybe he's deaf too,
when they get really scared, it's not good.
No, he was totally cool with it. Walked off the beach like, hey, that was pretty cool. Let's do that again sometime.
Yeah, my previous two dogs, Lab and kind of a Chow mix, they didn't care at all.
Yeah.
The beach, by the way, I've only once have I been there on 4th of July. My family was in town. We rented a house on Seaside on the main promenade walk there.
Yep.
It was,
great time.
Really a great show in terms of
so many
seeing
little
the fireworks.
parades too. It's fun out there.
We have a great forecast for the July 4th. Matt put this together last night for the evening hours of your fireworks festivities. If you're going to any of the shows, of course, the Blues Fest kicking off. 72 at 8 o'clock, 69 at 9, 66 and 10. These are temperatures tomorrow evening in Portland. Northwest winds at most 10 to 15. Mainly clear, just absolutely. I mean, the temperature is just going to be stunning the next couple of days. Beautiful shot over Mount Hood. Speaking of stunning, just perfectly clear over the mountain this morning at 49 degrees. Bit of a breeze. Northwest 10 gusting to 21. We have similar winds this morning between Hood River and the Dalles, but most areas are reporting winds less than 10 across our region. Here's the wide look from the top of the Wells Fargo building looking off to the northeast. You can see some clouds, but a lot of blue sky over everything, if you will. 55 is the temperature outside. Other numbers for you, it's all dry across our region. You do find cloudiness as you get near, and then especially south of Salem. Eugene is overcast and 58. North Bend is overcast and 55. But if you go the other direction, up by 5 to Seattle, it's pretty much going to be sunny blue. Here's the Futurecast map. We're just going to track some scattered thunder showers coming up. And this doesn't show you anything today, just really nice, 5 o'clock. Here comes some scattered storms overnight into tomorrow morning, racing up near the crest to the east flank of the Cascades. So we'll keep an eye on that. Again, that's overnight tonight into tomorrow morning. And parts of southern and eastern Oregon will have a continued scattered thunderstorm threat at least through the day tomorrow. 80 in Salem today. Temperatures southwest Washington will be looking at about 76 degrees in Battleground. So again, the hot spots are 80, really comfortable for July, as you know. Portland 77, 75 tomorrow, 79 Saturday. All similar, mostly sunny days. A little bit warmer on Sunday, but 83 still nice. There's some 90s to start next week. Here is Chris McGinnis.
Rod, thanks for that. Let's take it back out to Northwest Portland. We talked about an earlier house fire in the 13,000 block of Northwest Skyline Boulevard for about 3 hours this morning. Skyline Boulevard was closed. Just getting word from Tualatin Valley Fire and Rescue that stretch of Skyline Boulevard has reopened. All right, let's get back to the Freeway Drive top deck of the Fremont Bridge. That's southbound I-405, zipping right along on that side of town. Door number 2 takes us over to the Banfield, westbound 84. Let's try that again. One more time. Door number 2, Banfield. There it is. One little slow spot there approaching the I-5 split. Outside of that, guys, the Freeway Drive remains in really good shape on this day before the holiday getaway. I would suspect the traffic later this afternoon getting to those destinations is going to be a little bit busier. But right now, guys, we're off to a pretty good start.
Nice. Some people maybe have the day off even. Chris, thank you. Still ahead, a KGW investigation exposes how Oregonians with disabilities have trouble accessing mental health care and how a new Oregon law aims to change that.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
We have a follow-up this morning to a KGW investigation about adults in Oregon living with disabilities. State lawmakers closed a loophole that gives those adults better access to mental health services. Here's KGW's Evan Watson with the details.
Alex, you remember last time we went to the hospital and we sat there all day and nothing happened last June?
Yeah, I did.
It's a good thing it'll never happen again, right?
Right.
Okay.
Meet Alex Tennyson. He's an Oregon adult with autism. He works in a recycling center, has brilliant memorization skills, and he loves video games. But his dad Larry knows there's more. Alex has a history of mental health challenges. KGW first talked with the Tennysons about them a year ago.
He hears train whistles from when he's a kid. What do you think? What do you think when that happens?
That makes me scared.
Yeah.
And when the incessant noises start, Alex has flipped a switch.
How did you get that knot up there?
Because.
You hit your head to try and make it stop?
Yes.
Doctors previously told the Tennysons that people like Alex don't make good patients for mental health care.
And that's what we ran into before, is we kind of got nothing. We kind of got sent it off. So now I don't think that's going to be an issue, hopefully.
This session, Oregon lawmakers unanimously passed a bill that says people with intellectual or developmental disabilities cannot be denied access to mental health assessment, treatment, or services.
It's not appropriate for a person having a psychotic break to walk into an emergency room and be told, we don't do people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. And that happens. It's happened to a family member of mine. It's happened to many, many people.
Senator Sarah Gelser-Bluen and the bill's other sponsors said legal loopholes allowed public agencies to deny services, and people with disabilities faced gaps in care and fragmented services for too long. Governor Kotek signed that bill into law.
For us and Alex and myself, I mean, it means we can have confidence we go into an emergency situation or a place where we get medical care. We don't have to explain anything about IDD or DD or autism. Theoretically, we can just say, those are his issues, but expect to get the same type of treatment we would if he didn't have those issues.
Larry Tennyson calls it a win for the community. Thankfully, Alex hasn't had as many issues in the last year following a change in support companies and medicines. The calloused knot on his forehead, hopefully a sign of the past. And Alex, you're having a good day?
Yes, Evan.
A good day.
I'm having a good day.
The Oregon Health Authority will likely send out a memo to healthcare organizations and hospitals all around the state explaining the new requirements and how providers should be trained. There is no outline yet, though, for the penalties that hospitals will face if they don't comply. The man accused of murdering 4 University of Idaho students pleads guilty on all counts against him, setting the stage for what will likely be a sentence of life in prison without the possibility of parole. Coming up in our next half hour of Sunrise, we're going to hear from family members of the victims who are divided on the plea deal. Plus,
oh my gosh, it looks so good!
Never mind the 4th of July tomorrow. This town in Maryland is celebrating Christmas early here in the summer months. For that little girl right there, we'll explain why coming up.
KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
We are coming up on 7:29 on this Thursday morning, and we pick it up with a traffic alert on the southbound Markham Bridge. Disabled vehicle right now has one of the southbound lanes blocked. It's kind of tough to see here, but I think if you look closely, you'll see that incident responder there with the light saying, get over to the left because the right lane is blocked. And that is backing up the drive now on I-5. Sorry for the wobbly camera there, but there you can see I-5 southbound really puttering along here, and that is having a little bit of a ripple effect now. As traffic on I-5 south backs up, it is also backing up traffic on the inbound I-84 commute. So now we're up to about 23 minutes to get you in from Troutdale. Again, most of that slowing starting right around the Hollywood district. Rod?
Well, that's not good news. Thank you, though, Chris, for having that. Salem Sky Camera, kind of on the edge where we do find a lot of clouds if you head south down toward Eugene in the valley. Partly cloudy right now over the state capital, 58 degrees. Portland's just a beautiful sunny morning. Our current temperature is 55. We'll have another comfortable day. High temp up to 77, and we still are forecasting mostly sunny, comfortable weather for the entirety of your July 4th weekend. The warmest temperature Sunday at 83 degrees.
Well, We start this half hour of Sunrise with a couple of Roman monkeys actually in Rome enjoying some frozen treats.
That's what makes them Roman.
Exactly, yes. Staff members there prepared some icicles to help the animals cool down.
I love the mustache.
Hey, and it wasn't just monkeys. All the other animals at the zoo were able to have a little snack there. Bears got some, the tigers got some, bigger icicles as well. And the zoo says they are easy to make. They just put water with meat or fruit and then freeze them for 24 hours. They say it's a simple way to give the animals something refreshing amid the heat wave there. Everyone likes a homemade popsicle.
I honestly thought you were calling them Roman monkeys because they were roaming along the tree limbs.
Oh,
they were roaming through the
like
forest.
roaming.
But they're, yeah.
No, Roman, as in Rome.
From
When in
Rome.
Rome, they are Roman monkeys.
There you go.
Nothing feels as refreshing like a meat popsicle. Yeah?
Not for me.
Right?
It's too early.
I'll stick with
It was a popsicle with meat in it.
That's a pass from Drew. I get the sense.
Yeah, I stick
He is
with
not
my,
refreshed.
my grape. Really?
Yeah, great popsicle. That sounds
Thank
better.
you. There's a snow cone place that's close by, and they're so good. And they have all the different flavors. Everybody stands up and they order like 4 or 5 different flavors.
Thank you for saving us.
And then I step up and I go, "Give me grape," and they're like, "And?" I'm like, "No, just grape."
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Here's a look at our Snoqualmie Casino Resort camera in Lincoln City. Beautiful clear blue skies here. It's partly cloudy as you head northward up into Clatsop County, up in Astoria. And it is overcast along the southern Oregon coast, but this is a situation in Lincoln County. Just a beautiful morning at the beach. 53 is the current temperature. Downtown Portland, a sunny start. Look at us, 55. We'll stay in the comfortable zone today despite hours of sunshine. I have us shy of 70 at noon and then getting up to about 77 at 5 o'clock. When it's that sunny out, Chris, as a forecaster, I do get nervous if I think we're going to stay under 80, but we'll see. Pretty comfortable air mass in place.
It does seem a little cool for bright sun in July, right? All right, let's get you out the door. I've got one traffic alert to let you know about right now on the southbound Markham Bridge. The swinging wrenches there. No, we're not talking about Rod's golf game. This is a disabled vehicle right now on the southbound span of the Markham Bridge. There you can see it off in the distance. So the right lane is blocked with that, and the ripple effect begins here. So now southbound I-5 is stacking up, and you can see that's a pretty slow commute. Not sure what's going on there. I'm not sure if that's part of that or some other disabled vehicle that's popped up. In any event, you can see southbound I-5 now is really chugging along here slowly. And with that in mind, it's also backing up the inbound I-84 commute. So most of this 25 minutes coming in from Troutdale is inside the Gateway District. It'll hit that slowing right around Hollywood, and then from there it's slow and go the rest of the way the I-5 split. Guys?
Thank you, Chris.
Murder in the first degree, as it relates to the murder of Madison Mogan, how do you plead guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
Haley Gonzalez, how do you plead guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
Xana Kernodle, a human being, how do you plead guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
Ethan Chapin, a human being, how do you plead guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
What you just heard there was Brian Koberger, accused in the murders of 4 Idaho college students. You heard their names, pleading guilty on all 4 counts of murder. And this high-profile case came to a conclusion yesterday in a Boise courtroom.
Koberger's plea deal takes the death penalty off the table. Family members of the victims had varying reactions to that deal. Some say it brings closure to a painful chapter of their lives. Others, though, say it's not enough. Joyce Taylor, with her sister station in Seattle, has more.
Nearly 1,000 days after their deaths, the family of Kaylee Gonzalez is fuming. Outraged there will be no trial, no death penalty. Defiant as they arrived at the courthouse hand in hand.
Is this justice?
No.
No.
No. We're going.
Are you guys
Keep
going to be
going.
in the courtroom today?
Keep going.
Some of us will. Okay.
Ready? Steve Gonzalez protesting by refusing to go inside. The Gonzalez family wanted prosecutors to amend the deal, requiring Koberger give a full confession and the location of the murder weapon. That didn't happen. In contrast, Maddie Mogan's family is glad this part of the legal process may soon be over. Her mom and stepdad, Karen and Scott Laramie, support the plea deal, expressing gratitude for the many people they say put the victims first, including the prosecuting attorneys.
Thank you for all your dedicated, diligent, and tireless commitment to justice and the successful outcome reached today. We support the plea agreement 100%. While we know there are some who do not support it, we ask that they respect our belief that this is the best outcome possible for the victims, their families, and the state of Idaho.
In solidarity with the plea decision, the Chapin family. Jim and Stacy Chapin, along with Ethan's siblings, Maisie and Hunter, were also in the courtroom today.
Did you kill and murder Ethan Chapin, a human being?
Yes.
Emotional as they heard the man who killed their son finally admit out loud he did it.
We're also hearing this morning from the small college town of Moscow, Idaho, where the murders took place. Moscow's mayor said he'll never comprehend the senseless murders, but he also said he believes in this case the justice system worked.
I think this is as good a verdict as could result from a truly horrific case that should frankly never have occurred at all. And it's something that will always be with us.
The mayor says he hopes this plea deal can help the community of Moscow truly heal.
The man accused of a deadly daytime shooting outside Portland's Central Library made his first court appearance.
Police and neighbors say the spot where this happened has really been a hot spot for drug use and drug dealing for years now. Here's KGW's Devin Haskins with more.
By Wednesday morning, more than 18 hours after a fatal shooting, the block along Southwest 10th near Yamhill had quieted down. One employee that works nearby says what happened on Tuesday was sad, but not surprising.
It's been getting worse, progressively faster.
On Tuesday afternoon around 3:30,
yeah, he just got shot.
A shooting. Bystanders had stepped in to help a man who had just been shot.
Stay with me. I can do this, okay? Yeah. I know it hurts.
Portland police say that within 10 minutes of the shooting, they had arrested the suspected shooter, 26-year-old Hassan Muse, a few blocks away.
Saddened and angry. Once again, a conversation about the loss of life. We talk about the sanctity of life and the significance of it.
On Wednesday, a man identified by the court as Muse was defiant and loud as he appeared before a judge. Charged with second-degree murder and unlawful use of a weapon, he denied it was him multiple times, insisting instead his name was Alpha A. Tuesday's fatal shooting was the 18th of the year. At this same time last year, there had been 35.
Obviously, that's trending in the right direction, but one life is one too many.
Where the shooting happened was kitty corner to the Central Library. Several businesses are also on the same street. The area where it happened has a history of problems. Last April, Southwest 10th Avenue nearby the library was labeled by police as a hotspot for drug use and dealing.
We're committed to reclaiming our public spaces. It is essential. We have to do better, and we will.
In the past year, the library has increased lighting outside and added more security guards. Some employees of nearby businesses say it's helped.
It's not like there's fewer people, it's just that the people who are here are they're just encouraged to move along.
Other employees say the problem still exists.
We do see those security guards and those people, but I haven't been noticing any kind of difference because, again, everybody's just unchecked doing whatever they want.
Devin Haskins, KGW News.
In Washington, the state Supreme Court is overhauling the criminal justice system, slashing the number of cases public defenders can take on. Defense attorneys who represent people who can't afford a lawyer will now be limited to 47 felony cases a year. That's a dramatic drop from the current limit of 150 cases. The change aims to fight burnout and high turnover, but critics warn it could be costly, potentially requiring hundreds of new attorneys. Local governments do have 10 years to comply with this new rule.
All right, Portland has a new fire chief right there in your screen. Lauren Johnson is leaving her current post as assistant fire chief in Dallas, Texas, to lead the charge here in Portland. That's going to start in mid-August. Johnson has worked in Dallas for 26 years, but will now be responsible for the 700-plus employees and almost $200 million annual budget of Portland Fire and Rescue.
And it's official. Longtime Nike executive Claire Hamill has been named interim team president of Portland's WNBA team. In a statement, she called it an honor to lead the franchise, adding, quote, "This team will represent what is best about Portland and what is great about women's sports. If you love Portland and the WNBA as much as I do, please join us in this journey." This comes after former team president Inky Sun stepped down last week after 3 months on the job. Hamill will be in charge of launching the team, especially on the business side, such as hiring key staff members and creating an infrastructure within the organization. On July 15th, the team will officially announce its name and other details. I know a lot of people interested in that, and though we already got a scoop from the team's trademark application that their name might be Portland Fire.
Bringing back the fire, perhaps. All right, we will see. All right, we're going to talk morning routines here for a moment. A new poll from Talker Research found that 1 in 3 people say that their morning is completely thrown off if they miss even a single simple step in their morning. Now I'm just going to read you what it says here, then I have a big question about it. They say some key missteps include forgetting to make coffee or tea, or not brushing your teeth, or not drinking enough water. Are you forgetting to do these things, really? Or like, did you run out of time? How do you forget to brush your teeth, I guess, is my big question.
Well, I guess if you get out of a routine and then all of a sudden you skip something, and then, you know, like if you accidentally get, I don't know, soap in your mouth when you're getting ready or different things.
We've worked together a few times this week. Based on what I'm experiencing, I'm going to say that you have not forgotten yet to brush your teeth.
No,
which
I
is
have.
great. Which is great. Again, I don't feel like it's something you forget to do. You just choose not to do it, I guess, on the days you didn't do it. You forget.
What do you think, Rod?
Well, I have become addicted to, I have to have a cup of coffee to get my day going.
Right.
And only a few times over the years there was a time, it's probably been over a year ago, and it was about 6:15 in our show. And I realized this was me that day doing weather. Hi, we have a rain chance today. And I was like, what is wrong with me? And then I realized I didn't have my coffee. So I guzzled down literally 2 cups of coffee that morning. I remember this vividly. Then the next weather hit was, hey, it could rain today.
Wow.
It's a big difference.
How many cups do you drink normally in the morning?
I probably have a solid, I would say at least a solid 4.
Wow.
Don't use me as your guide to what you should be doing with your life. Never. Turns out nobody's been doing that. We're safe. I feel better. Here's our Rose City camera. We're celebrating a beautiful blue sky morning out there. 55 is the early temperature. Basically, you find more sun from Portland to the north and less to the south. Salem seems to be right on the edge, and this actually could be the edge we're seeing. Some sunshine and then cloudiness as you move southward down toward Eugene starts to fill in the valley. Salem, 58 degrees. You're expected to have a good bit of sun. It's partly cloudy to mostly sunny out in the gorge. You're looking at the Oregon Mountains from Elk Ridge Golf Course on the Washington side. Winds in the gorge by the time you get to Hood River today, west 10 to 20, not bad. Here's a look at temperatures back in the valley. We're all in the 50s. Yeah, we're all in the 50s. 56 in Tiger. Good morning to you. There's Salem at 58 degrees. Cooper, by the way, is our KGW Dog of the Day. Use that email address, dogoftheday@kgw.com. Beautiful Dalmatian this morning. And your dog will become our Dog of the Day. 7-day forecast for you. Here we go. Holiday weekend still looks great. 77. Here's me with no coffee. And then July 4th, we think is decent, like 75. Here's normal right after coffee. It's going to be spectacular tomorrow. Wow. All right, here's Chris.
And now we're going to rain on the parade because a pair of traffic alerts are now making a mess of what was until now an easy morning commute. So first off, on the Markham Bridge, southbound I-5, we've got a disabled vehicle that has the southbound right lane blocked. This is right near the west end of the bridge before the 405 north split. So that's got traffic backing up. In fact, I can show you now. Door number 2 shows that back up across the Markham and back past the Morrison Bridge. Meanwhile, as we shift gears, door number 3 now shows us another crash on the Banfield. This is westbound I-84 near the Lloyd Boulevard exit. So that has just been cleared to the shoulder, but now 84 westbound is lined up out past the Hollywood district and almost out to 82nd Avenue. So now that drive has jumped up to more than 30 minutes to get you in from Troutdale, and the lion's share of that is between 82nd Avenue and downtown. So 84 west to I-5 south, kind of messy right now, guys.
All right, Chris, you can't go too far, of course, because you are leading our Good Energy Report today, Mr. McGinnis. Coming up in just a few minutes, Chris is going to talk about how a local company is helping make the sport of pickleball more environmentally friendly. How are they doing that, you ask? We'll explain in today's Good Energy Report.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW+.
Welcome back. Today is a good energy day at KGW, where we take a minute to highlight people, communities, and businesses doing good things for the environment.
Our good energy guy here on the show is Chris McGinnis, who is now with us in the studio. So Chris, today you're talking about the sport of pickleball, the good energy efforts behind that.
Yeah, it is growing in popularity, right? But the question, what do you do with a dead ball? One that's lost its bounce. The most frequent put away is a landfill, but one local recycling company is serving up a clever solution.
Pickleball is booming. Just ask your neighbor, your aunt, or probably half the people at your local park. But for all the fun, there's a problem bouncing under the radar.
There's over 500 million pickleballs being created every single year, which translates to 77 million pounds of plastic waste.
Enter Ridwell, the recycling company known for tackling the tough stuff like batteries, plastic film, and now your sad, deflated pickleballs that have lost their bounce.
We're partnering with specialty recyclers, including Merlin Plastics, Hydroblocks, and Marble Plastics. And those specialty recyclers are giving new life to that plastic.
This isn't just a curbside project. Ridwell is teaming up with Jumbo's Pickleball in Portland and Beaverton, turning their courts into drop zones for balls that have seen one dink too many.
We want to just get here, block the ball, and punch it. Exactly. Punch it. Good. Jumbo's Pickleball is extremely happy to partner with Ridwell to recycle pickleballs and make sure that we're caring for the environment.
Head pro Hunter Russell knows firsthand how quickly a pickleball's lifespan can end, especially under the paddle of a serious player.
If you are an elite level player, maybe a pickleball can last for 2 or 3 hours in a professional setting.
Ridwell is stepping in to help with this plastic waste problem from used and broken pickleballs.
And even if you're not a Ridwell member, between now and July 15th, you can bring your used pickleballs to Jumbo's, and they'll recycle them for you.
There's lots to learn. It's fun when you first begin because you get better real quick.
So whether you're a smasher or a dinker, your retired pickleballs now have a shot at reincarnation as plant pots, pipes, or something that doesn't involve yelling, "Kitchen!"
And it's this kind of continual push to find more items that people have in their homes that they feel guilty throwing away, and figuring out solutions and how we compare them with domestic reuse and recyclers.
So you identified a dinker in that story, and that dinker was you.
Well, he didn't look dinky. I think he did a good job.
Was cautious.
So Hunter, the pro, I think he was giving me like a little backhanded compliment saying, hey, you know, when you're just beginning, there's lots of room for improvement. And he's looking right at me like, yeah. So
That's
hey,
the good news.
Ridwell's free drop-off bins are available through July 15th at Jumbo's at Lloyd Center and Beaverton. And if your paddle's too full for a field trip, Ridwell members, of course, can leave their used up pickleballs in their doorstep bin. No volley required.
Cool program. I was saying Rod's good energy story of the day is that he has 4 cups every day of coffee to keep him
Yes, that
going.
gives me energy. I wasn't making that up, by the way.
That's
I
a
am the
lot.
world's most boring weather presenter if I haven't had my cup of coffee. I really am.
How many cups were we at right
We've
now?
had 3, man.
Oh, it's going to
We've
get
had
better.
3.
You need 4 for the
Let's get you fired up. It's time for me to do the weather. Let's do the weather. Woo! Oh, wait, I missed it. I went so fast I skipped right over the weather. All right, here we have our satellite picture. We're all dry, Oregon and Washington. No weather-related issues. There are clouds down to the south valley this morning, but all clear up top. Here's Mount Hood from our Timberline Lodge camera. 48 degrees up on the mountain this morning. Some clouds off to the distance, but sunny blue over downtown from the Pioneer Park building, looking out over the square. 55 degrees. It's going to be a comfortable, just beautiful day. No changes to the forecast. which means all the way through the holiday weekend, we're looking dry, we're looking sunny, and we're looking comfortable. These are the numbers out the door right now. Eugene is overcast, 58. Salem has kind of a mixed bag. Sunshine up in Kelso, 54. Sunny out in the Dalles, 62. Futurecast is tracking a thunderstorm threat down in southeastern Oregon today at 5 o'clock. And then a second wave of storms overnight tonight into early tomorrow morning. This is Friday at 6 a.m. Shows some storms racing up the east flank of the Cascades and maybe even making it up into Wasco County. Then a third run of storms coming up from the south again across central and southern areas of our state at 4 p.m. tomorrow. So you folks looking for some thunderstorm activity here in the Willamette Valley, again, we'll be all dry. Today, the warmest numbers just get up to about 80, which is what happened yesterday. Salem hit 80, Portland did not. Here's Battleground at 76, northwest winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. And our forecast numbers statewide, nobody's what I would call hot. This shows low to mid 80s out east. That thunderstorm threat in southeastern Oregon burns 81 at 5 o'clock. 70s to about 80 in some spots of the valley, and then the coast in the 60s. It's cloudy down in North Bend this morning, partly cloudy in Astoria. It's pretty much clear in Newport, Lincoln City, and Depot Bay. 77 today, 75 tomorrow, 79 Saturday. Really nice. Sunday gets back up in the 80s if Saturday doesn't touch it. We are still tracking some 90s to start next week. And that is your forecast. Here's Chris.
Now for the Debbie Downer here. We've got 2 traffic alerts that are making a mess of what was an easy morning commute. I-5 southbound on the Markham Bridge. A disabled vehicle has the southbound right lane blocked. There you can see the incident responder with that. And traffic is lined up all the way back over the Markham, past the Morrison, and up now through the Rose Quarter. Also, westbound 84, an earlier crash near Lloyd Center. Good news here, that has just been cleared to the shoulder, but I-84 westbound now is now lined up out to 82nd Avenue. So the lion's share of this 32 minutes, guys, that's just to get you in from Gateway to the I-5 split. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Chris. Still ahead here on Sunrise, a community in Maryland celebrates Christmas in June, and they did it for that little girl right there. We're going to explain why after this quick break.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
It's certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yeah.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
It's certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
And finally, for our 7 o'clock hour of Sunrise, we have a heartwarming story out of a town in Maryland where Christmas came early.
NBC's Priscilla Thompson shares how this town rallied together to make a little girl's Christmas wish come true in June.
Oh my gosh, it looks so good!
It began as most Christmas wishes do, with a letter.
This community has been incredibly supportive of our family over the last 4 years.
Alyssa and Joe Zachman writing not to Santa, but their Maryland neighbors about their 9-year-old daughter, Casey, wanting to celebrate Christmas on June 28th, the date she was diagnosed with brain cancer 4 years ago.
This week will be incredibly hot and not the best climate for putting up lights, but we aren't sure how much time we have.
With just days to prepare, Santa's helpers went straight to their workshops.
All of the neighbors were out there just sweating as we hung Christmas lights.
Merry Christmas!
Thank you so much!
She ran like she hasn't ran in years. She wanted to be right in the middle of it.
More than 24 fire trucks and hundreds of homes decorated just for her.
Oh my gosh, Case, look on the roof!
June 28th for us has been Diagnosis Day, has been a heavy day. For us to now be able to think about June 28th as Christmas in June, especially next year, we're so thankful.
A priceless gift from the community that made Christmas come early. Priscilla Thompson, NBC News.
And coming up at 8, KGW Sunrise continues live on KGW Plus with the latest on President Trump's big, beautiful bill as House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries continues his marathon speech against that bill.
Also next hour, the Supreme Court weighs in on the legal fight over state laws that ban transgender athletes from competing in sports. We have those stories for you, Rod's 4th of July forecast, and traffic updates from Chris, all coming up in the 8 o'clock hour.